No one noticed when it started. No alarms. No explosions. No warnings from the station AI. Just a human giving candy to an alien child. And somehow, everything changed. The docking platform smelled like burnt circuits and cheap fuel. The kind that stuck to your clothes no matter how many times you washed them. He had stopped trying. Now he just worked. Crouched beside a half-dead cargo hauler, he tightened a connector that should have been obsolete a century ago. "If you break again," he muttered, "I'm charging extra." The ship hummed like it disagreed.
"Yeah," he sighed.
"We all have problems." This was his life. No glory. No danger. Just repairs and machines that refused to die properly. He leaned back, stretching, then pulled a small candy from his pocket. Slightly melted. Slightly deformed. Still edible. Good enough. He unwrapped it slowly and popped it into his mouth. Too sweet. Artificial. Familiar. Safe. That's when he felt it. A shift. Not sound. Not movement. Something watching. He turned slightly and saw her. A small figure stood near a stack of old cargo crates. Still. Silent. Watching him. She looked almost human. Almost. That alone made him pause. Out here, species didn't look almost like anything. But she did. Small frame. Calm face. And ears that didn't belong. Long, elegant. Slightly curved. They twitched faintly. He blinked once. "Okay," he said under his breath. He glanced around. No one else reacted. No one else noticed her. He looked back. She was still staring. Not curious. Not afraid. Just focused. Like she wasn't looking at him. She was looking through him. Measuring something. He shifted his weight. Uncomfortable. "Well," he said slowly, "either I've finally lost it." He pointed lightly at her. "Or you're real." No response. Not even a blink. He exhaled. "Strong, silent type," he muttered. "Respect." Still nothing. He hesitated, then reached into his pocket again. Another candy. He held it up between two fingers. "This," he said, "is either a great idea." He extended his hand toward her. "Or the exact moment my life gets complicated." For a moment, nothing. Then she moved. One step. Careful. Certain. Like she had already decided long ago. She approached him slowly. Up close, something felt off. Too calm. Too precise. Even her breathing had a rhythm that didn't feel natural. She reached out. Her fingers brushed his. Light. Barely there. But something lingered. Not heat. Not touch. Something deeper. Quiet. He frowned slightly. She took the candy. Unwrapped it perfectly. Placed it in her mouth. For a second, nothing changed. Then her expression softened. Just a little. Not a smile. But close. He let out a breath. "Well," he asked. "Worth it?" She looked at him. Really looked. And suddenly, he felt it. Clear. Like standing inside something invisible. "You are quiet," she said. Her voice was soft. Precise. He blinked. "Quiet," he repeated. "That's new." She tilted her head. "Inside." He paused. "Okay," he said slowly. "That's either a compliment." He leaned back against the crate. Or, very concerning. She didn't respond. Just kept watching him. As if she already knew something he didn't. And for no clear reason. He felt it. This moment mattered. More than it should. The next day felt normal. Too normal. Same noise. Same broken ships. Same routine. He told himself it meant nothing. Just a strange encounter. That thought lasted less than a minute. "You returned." He froze. Tool hovering midair. Slowly he turned. She stood behind him. Same spot. Same stillness. Like she had never left. "Well," he said carefully, "that depends." He tapped the ship. "Are you talking, or is this thing evolving?" "It is inefficient," she said. He glanced at the ship. "Don't listen to her." Then back at the girl. She was closer today. Not observing. Waiting. "You choose to return," she said. He blinked. That's a very dramatic way to describe having a job. No reaction. Just that same stare. He felt it again. That pressure. light but real, like something brushing against his thoughts. He shook it off. So, he said, reaching into his pocket, round two,
Candy.
this time. She didn't hesitate. She stepped forward instantly.
Took it.
Their fingers touched again, and that feeling came back. Stronger, spreading, steady. He frowned. Okay, that's definitely new. She unwrapped the candy. You are still quiet, she said. He laughed softly. I'm starting to think that's your only line. It is observation. Of course it is. She stepped closer. Closer than before. You do not push, she said. He blinked. What? She looked past him. Two workers arguing loudly. Sharp voices. Rising tension. Then she looked back at him. They do. He followed her gaze. Yeah, he admitted. You do not. Before he could reply, something shifted. The argument slowed. One worker stopped mid-sentence. The other blinked. The tension faded. Just slightly. But enough. He noticed instantly. Okay, he whispered. That's not normal. She stepped even closer. Then, placed her hand on his arm. And this time, he felt it fully. A wave.
Calm. Deep.
Heavy.
Steady.
Spreading outward. The noise of the station softened. Not quieter. Just lighter. He stiffened. What are you? He asked. She met his gaze. Looking, she said. That's not an answer. A pause. Then, for you. He stared at her. Something in his chest tightened. Not fear. Something sharper. That sounds important, he said. She didn't deny it. Instead, she turned and walked away. No explanation. No goodbye.
Gone.
He stood there, still feeling that calm inside him. Great, he muttered. I gave candy to a mysterious alien kid. He looked at his arm. And now reality feels different. Behind him, the station continued like nothing happened. But he knew better, because something had started. And whatever it was centered on him. And he had no idea why. The third day did not feel normal. It felt quieter. Not on the surface. The station was still loud, still chaotic, still filled with arguments and broken machines. But underneath, something had changed. Voices didn't rise as quickly. Tension faded before it exploded. He noticed it immediately. Okay, he muttered, crouched beside a panel. That's not standard station behavior. The panel blinked in error at him. Yeah, I don't like it either. He stood, wiping his hands, and looked toward the cargo crates. She was there. Of course she was. Same place. Same stillness. But today, she wasn't just waiting. She was expecting. You waited, she said. I work here, he replied, then paused. But yes, also that. He walked toward her, pulling out a candy. You know, he said, this is becoming a routine.
She didn't take it.
Instead, she looked past him. He frowned and turned. 3 figures stood at the far end of the platform. Still. Watching. Okay, he said quietly. That's new. They are loud, she said. They're not even talking. They are searching. He narrowed his eyes. For what? She looked at him. For you.
He sighed.
Of course it is. The figures began moving.
Slow.
Controlled.
Certain.
That was worse. All right, he muttered, stepping slightly in front of her. We are now officially in a situation. She stepped closer behind him. They are listening, she said. To what?
To you.
He blinked. I'm not saying anything. You are.
He stopped.
Because he felt it. That calm. That steady, quiet presence inside him. Oh, he said. That's not good. The figures were closer now. Their forms looked wrong. Not fully solid. Like they were struggling to exist. One spoke. You are the source.
He sighed.
I was hoping for hello. You will come with us. Yeah, no. Another step forward. Resistance is unnecessary. Good, he nodded. Because I'm not great at it. Behind him, her hand touched his sleeve. The calm surged. Stronger. His thoughts steadied. Fear didn't vanish. It settled. Okay, he said. Let's try something. He stepped forward. The figures paused.
Good.
You say I'm a source, he said. Of what? A brief hesitation. An anomaly. He smiled faintly. That sounds about right. Behind him, she spoke. They cannot feel it correctly. That makes two of us, he muttered.
They shape, she said. Push.
Break.
He looked at them.
And I don't. You remain. He frowned. That sounds like doing nothing. Yes. Not helpful. The figures moved closer again. You disrupt, one said. He shrugged. I'm standing here. You affect us. That sounds like a you problem. Behind him. You are stronger when you do not resist, she said. He hesitated. That feels backwards. You do not push. You remain. He exhaled slowly. Fine, he muttered. We try it your way. He stopped thinking. No plan. No reaction. He just stood still. The effect was immediate. The tension shifted. Weaker. The figures flickered. Their shapes unstable now. This is inefficient, one said. He laughed softly. Hey, that's what she said about the ship. No response.
But they faltered.
One stepped back. They cannot hold shape, she said. He glanced back. Because of me? Because you do not react. He blinked. That's it. She nodded. He looked at them again. They were struggling now. Unstable. I have been overthinking everything, he muttered. You will be taken, one insisted. But the certainty was gone. He tilted his head. I don't think so. A moment passed. Then, they collapsed. Quietly. No explosion. No fight. Just gone. The station noise returned. Everything normal again. He stood still, staring. Okay, he said. That happened. He turned to her. She was calm. You remained, she said. He nodded. I remained. He rubbed his face. I need an explanation. She didn't answer. Instead, she looked past him again.
He turned.
And froze. A woman stood at the edge of the platform. Still. Watching. She looked like the girl, but different. Stronger. Her presence didn't disturb the air. It controlled it. Everything around her felt steady. Intentional. Please tell me that's not another problem, he muttered. The girl shook her head.
No. A pause.
That is my mother. He blinked. Of course it is. The woman walked toward them.
Slow. Precise.
The noise around them softened. Not silence, but respect. He felt it instantly. This was different.
She stopped a few steps away.
Looked at him. And for a moment, it felt like she saw everything. Hi, he said awkwardly. I'd offer candy, but that seems risky now. A faint shift in her expression. You are the one, she said. He blinked. That sounds important. You stabilize them. He glanced at the empty space. I mostly just stood there. It is enough. The girl stepped beside her. The dynamic changed instantly. You were observed, the woman said. I noticed. You were identified. I don't like that part. Her gaze didn't move. You emit a stable emotional state. He stared. I'm sorry, what? You remain constant, she said. Rare. He exhaled slowly. Of course it is. She stepped closer. You reduce instability. Without effort. He laughed quietly. So, I'm accidentally useful. Yes. He shook his head. I was hoping to stay unimportant. That is no longer possible. Silence.
Heavy. Real. He looked at them.
What does that mean for me? He asked. She didn't answer immediately. Instead, she scanned the platform. They will return, she said. He nodded. Figures. They will not come the same way. Even better. The girl spoke softly. They do not understand you. That makes two of us. The woman looked at him again. You are now part of something larger. He held her gaze. Do I get a choice? A pause. Then, you already chose. He frowned. When? The girl answered. When you did not run. He stared at her, then exhaled. That feels unfair. It is accurate. He looked between them, then back at the station, then nodded slowly. All right, he said. I want answers. The woman studied him, then said, You will have them. And somehow, That sounded like the beginning of something much bigger. The explanation did not come with comfort. It came with pressure. The room beyond the hidden doorway felt wrong. Not broken. Not dangerous. Just bigger than it should be. The air was steady. Too steady. Like the chaos of the station had been cut away. He stepped inside slowly. Okay, he muttered, looking around. This is definitely not normal. It is not part of the station, the woman said. That feels like something you should have mentioned earlier. It would not have changed your reaction. He paused. Fair. The girl moved ahead, calm as always. Like she belonged here. He didn't. That was obvious. All right, he said, stopping in the center. Explanation time. The woman turned toward him. Our kind perceives emotional states as structure, she said. He raised a hand. Let's simplify that. She adjusted slightly. We feel what others cannot. And we shape it. He nodded slowly. So you control emotions? Yes. He exhaled. That's a lot. It is necessary. For what? Stability. He glanced at the girl, then back at her. And the things from earlier? They also shape, she said. But without balance. He winced. So they break things. Yes. He folded his arms. And me. A brief silence. The girl answered. You do not shape. Correct, he said. I fix ships. You do not push, she continued. Also correct. You remain. He hesitated, still processing that one. The woman stepped closer. You create stability without intent, she said. He sighed. So, I'm accidentally fixing everything. Yes. He rubbed his face. I was really hoping to stay a nobody. That is no longer possible. Before he could reply, something pressed against the room. Subtle, but real. He stiffened. You felt that too, right? They found you, the girl said. He blinked. That was fast. They are learning, the woman added. He laughed softly. Of course they are. The pressure grew. Stronger. Focused. Like something searching. Okay, he said, straightening. What's the plan? You will remain, she said. He stared at her. That's still the plan? Yes. He looked at the girl. She nodded. They will try to break you. He exhaled slowly. Yeah, that sounds right. The pressure reached the edge of the room. Then, they appeared. Not fully. Not like before. Their shapes flickered at the boundaries. Testing. Searching. His chest tightened. The calm inside him wavered. Okay, he whispered. That's new. They are trying to destabilize you, the woman said. Good strategy, he replied. I'm very destabilizable. The girl stepped closer. Do not follow it, she said. I wasn't planning to, he answered. But he felt it. The pull. Doubt. Subtle. Insistent. Then, a voice. Not heard. Felt. You are not stable. He frowned. Rude. You will break. He shook his head slightly. No. You do not belong. He let out a small breath. That part is true, he admitted. The pressure pushed harder. His thoughts wavered. For the first time, he understood. They weren't attacking him. They were trying to change him. Make him react. Make him lose that stillness. He closed his eyes. No, he said again. Softer. He didn't fight. Didn't push back. He just stayed. The doubt passed through him. Like wind. Didn't stick. Didn't grow. The calm returned. Stronger. Steadier. The room responded. The light deepened. The space aligned with him. The figures faltered. Their shapes flickered violently. Impossible. He opened his eyes. Yeah, he said. I get that a lot. They pushed harder. Sharp. Focused. Trying to crack him. He didn't move. Didn't think. Didn't react. He just remained. And that was enough. Their forms began to collapse. Breaking apart. Losing shape. One vanished. Then another. The last hesitated. Then dissolved. Silence. The pressure disappeared. Gone. Just like that. He stood there, breathing slowly. Okay, he said. That was worse. The girl looked up at him. You did not change. He nodded faintly. I think that's the point. The woman stepped closer. Her gaze was different now. Not analyzing.
Certain.
They will not return, she said. He blinked. Because they can't. Because you exist. He let out a quiet laugh. That feels like a lot for a guy who fixes cargo ships. You fixed more than that. He looked at his hands, then back at them. I didn't do anything. You remained, the girl said. He smiled slightly. Yeah. Silence settled. Not heavy this time.
Calm.
He exhaled and stretched his shoulders.
So, he said, what now?
Do I get a title? The girl tilted her head. That is not required. It should be, he said. Professional remainer sounds important. The woman almost smiled. You will continue, she said. Continue what? She gestured around them. He followed her gaze. The room, the station, the balance he could now feel. Fragile, constant. Right, he said. No pressure. The girl stepped beside him. You are not alone, she said. He glanced at her, then at the woman. That helps. They walked back toward the doorway. The station greeted them again. Same noise, same chaos, but different.
Softer.
Manageable. He took a slow breath. Huh. It is the same, the girl said. He shook his head. No, he replied. It's not. He reached into his pocket. One last candy. He handed it to her. She took it.
Just like the first time.
Simple.
Quiet.
He leaned back against the crate, watching the station move around him. You know, he said, I still don't understand any of this. The woman looked at him. You do not need to. He nodded slowly. Yeah, he said. I think I'm okay with that. The girl unwrapped the candy. That small, soft expression returned. Around them, ships arrived. People argued. Machines hummed. Nothing had changed. Everything had. And for the first time, he didn't try to figure it out. He didn't fight it. Didn't question it. He just stood there.
Calm.
Steady. Unmoving. A human. In a universe that finally realized that was something extraordinary.